This is Susan Wilbanks with BlendedInsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic. Hey, bright soul. Thank you so much for joining me on another podcast. How is your spring going? Oh my goodness, I am so incredibly grateful. Everything is blooming here. I have the most gorgeous trees in my front yard and my backyard. We're enjoying time outside as much as possible. I've been able to have a few gatherings at my home, which is so incredibly fulfilling. I'm so incredibly grateful for the space that I have and for the deep connections and the great friends that I have and my family. Oh my goodness. I have been in such a state of gratitude, which really just puts everything into perspective. And that is kind of what sparked today's podcast topic. That is the importance of soul care. Soul care is different than self-care. We often focus on self-care, and most of you have probably experienced or noticed that over the past several years, boundaries have been very clear, and you're noticing people beginning to no longer do things that don't feed them or don't serve them. And so you've noticed this shift, at least I have. There's been a shift, even in myself, where things that are no longer feeding me or things that I can no longer tolerate have been reviewed and shifted or let go. And a lot of us have been dealing with this. And part of that is really getting very clear on where you want to spend your energy and what, in a time of mass chaos, you have to really pick and prioritize where you're going to focus. And so soul care is taking care of your soul. Have you ever seen someone who just radiates from within? And if you study the person, it's not that they're particularly overly attractive or there isn't anything physical that you can pinpoint, but there's just a light that's emanating from within. That's a person that has a beautiful soul care plan. Soul care is, what are your thoughts and beliefs that are limiting you that you need to shift? How is your spiritual practice? Are you feeding yourself? Are you doing things that light you up from the inside, that fuel your soul, that spark your passion, that fuel you and that feed you and that make you feel alive? That's soul care. Self-care is focused more on the body. So that would be taking a warm bath and going to the gym, although that also has energetic components, doing things for your body. They're both really important, but the soul came first. And when you leave the body, you go back to the soul. So it's deepening your spiritual practice and really getting clear on what is driving you and what's draining you. And I know that a lot of us have been dealing with getting very clear on no longer feeding things that just drain us and leave us empty. And I had a conversation couple of weeks ago about this perception of feeding your soul or taking care of yourself being selfish. This is something that a lot of mothers have to fight through because there's a lot of guilt that comes with motherhood, especially if you're a working mother, if you're a single mother or a parent. I mean, it comes with both sides. I'm leaning on the mother because I am a mother and I can relate to that. However, it also applies for fathers. That you want to do everything and you just can't do it all. And so years ago, I got really good about giving myself credit for all of the things that I do and knowing that I am doing the very best that I can and making myself feel bad about the inability to do more doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me better. It doesn't inspire me. So I shifted that long ago. And so there's an element of being authentic and being vulnerable and being honest about when we make mistakes, what we can do better. But there's a healthy association of saying, you know what, when I learn something better and I'm feeling better, I'll do better. And when you have a really good soul care plan where you are connected to your higher spiritual source, you are spending time daily sitting, meditating, taking care of yourself, listening to your intuition, following it. And when there are people that are violating your boundaries, setting those boundaries and checking them. I can get very direct. And sometimes I listen to my podcasts and I'm like, geez, Susan, that was really direct. But you know what? When I am recording, I have already meditated and set myself up before I start. So I just trust that what comes through is what needed to come through. And if it upsets or hurts certain people or makes them choose not to follow me, that's because we're not in alignment. And I don't want to work with people that are easily offended, because that's actually internal work that needs to be done. And so we're not in alignment, and I'm in a place on my path where I would like to align with people who can see a bigger picture, who can take care of themselves, realize, hey, this person is human, I'm human, and we're doing the best that we can. But at the end of the day, take the meat and throw away the bones. So what I mean by that is take what resonates and what feeds you and then get rid of the rest. You've got to do that with everything, because we're all unique people. We're all walking our own path. We've all got stuff. And also we all have the free will choice to just click off and go do something else. So it isn't like we're sitting face to face and I'm forcing you to listen to me. You can just turn it off and go do something else. And so I just wanted to encourage you to really get good and maybe sit and just take some time and evaluate, what are you doing to feed your soul? And is your soul crying out for more? One of the things that I learned to do was meet my own needs. I remember years ago when I was so incredibly depleted. I have raised my daughter alone. So I didn't have family helping or friends or, her father, none of that. So I was truly a single parent. Some people are a single parent, but they have family and friends that kick in and help and pick their kids up, take their kids to appointments and all. I never had that. It was me doing everything, plus working full time and all the other stuff that I do. And I remember, my daughter was having challenges that I was trying to figure, and I had to figure all this stuff out by myself. And I was in a position at work where I was needing to get up in front of people and present. And it was kind of a high visibility position. So I would have to get ready for all these presentations and keep myself together. And I was like sleep deprived, and any person that's going through a lot can relate to that. And I was just like, oh my Lord, I am so tired. So tired. I just want a little bit of help, just a tiny. And then I started realizing, you know what? The reason the help isn't here is because there's something in me that is birthing a new level. It is birthing a new awareness, because I do have help. It may not be physical, but it's spiritual. And I need to really connect in and enlist my divine helpers and tune into what I need. And so I just started meeting my own needs. Like, you know what? If I want a cup of tea, I'm going to get a cup of tea. If I need to sit in meditation, I'm going to figure my schedule out. And I'm going to tell you, when I started doing that for myself, instead of having this external reach of expecting other people to do it, everything shifted for me. I started focusing on gratitude. I started giving myself credit for all of the work that I was doing. I started allowing myself to rest, and I started affirming all of the things that I do have and how grateful I am that I am capable, and that I have my health, and that I have shelter, and that my daughter and I have a beautiful relationship. And I use that as an example because I do know that I have a lot of single moms and single parents as clients, and also on this base, but it can apply to anything. When you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling alone, I understand. Okay, it may not be the exact situation, but the core emotional elements are there. And so those times are when I really got good at thinking, what does my soul need? Well, one of the things my soul needed was to start to explore spiritual things that fed me. Energy healing is one of them. Meditation. I love meditation. There was a time in my life where I felt like I was too busy for meditation. And you know what? If you're too busy to meditate, you need to meditate. Because it actually will give you more clarity. and it will free things up. It helps you to figure out what is most important. The other thing I started learning was productivity things like, wait a minute, let me make a list of the top 3 things that I need to get done today. All the rest of the stuff can fall away. A lot of the pressure we're putting on ourselves. If I don't get laundry done today, then I still have other clothes to wear. It's not that much of a priority. If I don't have other clothes to wear, it's a priority. But because I am efficient and I like organization, and I've just been programmed to be extremely neat and organized and have everything together, and the house needs to be clean. That's just external expectations that I've put on myself. Now, I still do those things, but I don't stress myself out over that. I used to jam pack my days to where I wouldn't have a moment of solitude or a moment to rest. And thankfully, long before these last couple years, I got really good at doing that. But I will say that these last couple years, my boundaries, my directness, what I am willing to entertain or spend my energy on has shifted for the better, because we need that energy to focus on things that are going to bring us the most gain and reward. And I don't say that like from a materialistic standpoint, from an energetic standpoint. When you wake up, you only have so much energy in the next 24 hours to spend. Unless spirit gives me more energy, because the soul does control the body. That's something that you can get really good at through your purpose, through your passion. So I have to choose where I'm going to put that energy, and so because there's so much going on, we simply can't get to everything. So prioritizing. And then the self-care is another piece of it. And I know I've done other podcasts on self-care, but taking care of your physical body, taking care of your body, period. Taking care of your external environment. I mean, clutter clutters the mind, it clutters the energy field, it clutters your environment. And we all know those things we need to be doing to take good care of ourselves. And when you take really good care of yourself, here's what I just have found out. And I don't mean to say remedial things or just irritating things, but I'm telling you from my experience. When I started taking really good care of myself, everything became easier, and I wasn't as irritable, because I used to be so irritated at people because I was so utterly exhausted. Have you ever been just really, really tired and everything just irritates you because you're so tired? Toddlers get like that. They need a nap. Everything is giving them a meltdown because they're sleepy. We're adults. We're little toddlers in adult bodies. We need to be able to take care of ourselves so that we can manage what is on our plate. And we can go out and give people a holistic and full version of us. And it's a practice. I mean, we're not perfect at it, but it is a practice and it's important. And I'm telling you, when you take really good care of your soul, you do radiate. You radiate out, and people don't know what it is about you. They just like your energy. And a lot of times people might just stare at you because they're wondering, I wonder what is so magnetic about this person. The magnetic part of you is because it's internal. And it does affect your skin and in positive ways. It will make you look and feel better. I mean, have you ever just seen a person that's going through a really tough time and you're like, holy smokes, they look awful? Well, it's not that they're doing anything differently with their body, but the soul is going through something. And so please take really good care of yourself during this time. Do it all the time, especially now. We're in the middle of this thing. It's not gone. I know we'd like to think that, but it's not. And so we want to do all of the things we're guided to do to continue to take care of ourselves, stay grounded. One of the things that I'm personally doing is I'm spending time with people that I absolutely adore. I make time for that. And I love to create expectationless, free opportunities for people in my presence. So what I mean by that is, one of the things that my closest friends and family tell me is that one of the things they really appreciate about me is that they can just be real. And they don't have to put on a facade and pretend like they're overly deep and spiritual and that that they are not going through trials. They can actually relax and just completely be who they are. And to me, that is the hugest compliment, because that's the way that I live my life. And even though I'm doing a spiritual healing modality and some would consider me possibly a spiritual teacher or a spiritual influencer. I am honest about my tough times and areas that I need to improve, and I'm authentic in my being. And so when people come visit and they say, "Oh my gosh, the energy in your house is so beautiful and I can just be myself," I love to give that to people. You know why? Because I needed that for so long. I needed that. And I didn't have a space that I could do that in until I created it for myself. And now that I've created it for myself, I can create it and invite other people to experience that space. And we all need it. And so you can create that for yourself and then take really, really good care. Whatever comes in intuitively for you, don't judge it. Listen to it. And it's okay to test out your intuition when you're learning to see, like, was that my intuition? You can ask for signs or you can ask for confirmations. They'll come. I did that in the beginning. Like, that was the most bizarre thing. Are you sure? And I'd say, I don't know. I need a confirmation. And it would come in again to give me confirmation, or maybe someone else would then affirm it for me. And it's important. So that's all I wanted to offer. Let's go into a healing. And I'm just going to flood you with beautiful golden healing energy. Let's just fill your soul up with vibrant light, the vibrant light that you are, so that you can rest and relax and take really good care of yourself. Okay, and so it is. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to this until the end. If you're not on my newsletter, you can go over and join it on blendedinside.com. That's my mailing list. I haven't sent out anything in a while because I don't have anything significant to send out. But when I do, you will be the first to know. Also, if you haven't left me a review on iTunes, it does help to get the information into the ears of other people. And I just want to wish you a beautiful week. Take care. Bye-bye.